People pointing the fingers, one thing or another. You get your rear end in there and you play the way you know how to play. We can win the game. We're going to open it up. We're going to go fast tempo. Defense, get after Jordan Love. You can't give him that much time. You do what you're supposed to do, we'll win this game.
Yo, this JB the Cowboy fan, and yes, I'm back with another one. And y'all was checking out First Take, and Nick Wright and especially Chris Brussard had some very interesting things to say about the culture of the Cowboys and Dak Prescott. So yo, let's get into that.
LeBron isn't. You understand what I mean? So LeBron doesn't have to be at the top.
I think we need a larger hill.
Time now for After the Headlines.
The graphic will work.
Sponsored by Ram Trucks. They are built to serve. Dak Prescott said he was confident his deal would get done and weighed in on criticism of the Cowboys' culture. Take a listen.
The culture's high, honestly, and the culture's great from my standpoint. And I say that in the sense is I actually don't know what all talk's been said, so I don't want to go into I don't know, good, bad, or whatever. I've heard some, but I can't. You guys know, if anybody, I'm not the one listening, and I'm trying not to. So, but my point is, yeah, that's something I've always bragged on and took pride in. So if there's questions of that, concerns on that, I feel attacked.
Okay, bro, you didn't love that?
I like his demeanor. Dak looked great, professional, all that was good. But this makes me want to pull out the tomato cans, the F cards, all of that.
Why?
Because the culture is the problem. What was the culture of the Patriots under Belichick?
Do your job.
Work. Do your job. Yeah. What's the culture of the Chiefs? I think it's
Just
fun and confidence.
Sure. Yeah.
Right? I mean, right? The culture of the Niners.
Fun and bravado. Yeah.
Intelligent play,
Overcoming mediocre.
but all of those teams, the culture is what? Based on what?
The play.
Football.
Okay, sure.
Football. The Cowboys' culture is drama. That's their culture. Because
Shit, man, that's all facts, Chris Brussard. And that's all I've been saying. Our team is built on glitz and glamour, drama, wanting to be in the news, headlines, got to be in the headlines. It is not about strictly football. That's why teams like the San Francisco 49ers, Green Bay Packers, Kansas City Chiefs. That's why those particular teams go far in the playoffs and ultimately win Super Bowls. It's the culture.
It's drama. That's their culture. Because drama sells. And that's what Jerry Jones, as much as he wants to win the Super Bowl, of course, he wants to win the Super Bowl. But what he wants more is the Cowboys on the talk shows, the jerseys selling. Our guys out there, and we're the talk of the league.
Right.
That's
Folks
what he
tomato
wants.
cans on the
Yeah, he probably don't mind that because it sells. All right, until their culture becomes one of football. We are a football franchise. We're not a soap opera. We're not, just entertainment. We're not Hard Knocks on HBO all season. Until they do that, they're not gonna win big.
All right. So I don't know if it's quite a category 2 yet, but given how the Cowboys played in the playoffs, your season-long statements about them have moved me a bit, right? So it certainly appears that you're on the right side of this argument. With that said, what's Dak supposed to do? What's Dak supposed to do? Because does Dak have a boss? If he does, it's really not Mike McCarthy as much as it's Jerry Jones.
Right.
And you
Shit, if you ask me, if I was Dak, I'd be like, bye, man. I had to dip from the Cowboys. You know what I'm saying? I mean, he can't handle the pressure, I think, here being the Cowboys quarterback in the playoffs. Now, we know Dak gonna do good in the regular season. He's proven that. He's done it. He's done it during the regular season, but when it comes to the playoffs, when pressure is privilege, he folds. So to me, right now, either way, if Dak leave, I won't be mad. If they didn't sign, I won't be mad. But to me, just because they bullshit with his contract again, bro. All this time just going on and on and on and on. They could have been got the deal done, been moved on. That's why, to me, if I was Dak, man, I step. If I was Dak, that was me. I step.
What's Dak supposed to do? What's Dak supposed to do? Because does Dak have a boss? If he does, it's really not Mike McCarthy as much as it's Jerry Jones.
Right.
And I'm not trying to put words in your mouth. When you're talking the culture, you might have questions about Dak in big games, Dak in the playoffs, whatever. You don't think Dak's a part of the problem culture-wise. I would argue, or I shouldn't say you don't, I don't. I think Dak's part of the solution culture.
Here's what I'll say to you, though. Remember, was it DeMarcus Lawrence that came out and said we were exhausted by the time the playoff against Green Bay?
Okay.
Remember, he said he was saying, not physically, I don't believe, emotionally, they were burnt out. Because for 17 weeks and beyond, it's so much pressure on the Cowboys.
Right, I agree with all that.
Because Jerry creates the pressure.
That's my point, though. My point is, Dak is answering for it, and I think Dak instills a pretty positive culture from his leadership standpoint, what he can control.
That's right.
I don't think Dak isn't the one doing the podcast, right? Dak is doing nothing wrong off the field.
Yeah.
That was literally, I think a kid's cancer thing or some charity thing. I think Dak does, he's almost a boring quote most of the time, like Mahomes is, I'm not going to give you any headlines. Right.
In that regard.
And so I guess the point I'm making is I think you can be correct, and I also empathize for Dak in this spot. Because here's what Dak can't do. Tell Jerry to change. He just can't. It's the only person in the franchise that he has no control over.
Right.
And so it's a weird spot. It is the head of his company, the owner of his company, and it's like he knows Dak's sitting there like, and so he puts it on himself. It's like I
don't have no problem with. Yeah. I mean, he has to. You're right. And he's trying to get a huge contract from you too. So I don't blame him. I wonder. Maybe I'm just dreaming. But and I think when you're a player in that culture, it's probably hard for them to see it like I see it outside.
No, but this is what Micah said. Cut the extra stuff out. I just want people to lock in for 22 weeks. 7 months can change your life, and I am ready.
So
Michael Parsons talking about lock in. Podcast Parsons talking about lock in. Man, get that shit out of here, bro. What is this guy talking about? What is he locking in on? Because he don't show up when he's supposed to, bro. I mean, y'all can miss me with that shit.
In for 22 weeks, 7 months can change your life, and I am ready.
So their player leaders, Dak, Micah, whoever else it is, could they talk to Jerry? I mean, sit down with Jerry and say, look, just what Micah said, we want this to be about just football. I get it. It's tough. I'm not saying I'm asking the question.
I don't think
Can you go in and say, look?
I don't think they can. But I also think.
No, it's like, okay, you want to be on my podcast?
Right. That's the thing.
That's the best thing.
I think Micah's not the best messenger for it. I think Dak is. Like, you know what I mean? But when Dak is sitting there like, listen, I try to set a good culture.
He does.
And I think he is saying, without saying, in the locker room, the culture's good. And
if Dak privately said, you know what, I don't want to hear the word Super Bowl until It's the Super Bowl.
To who?
But
To the
Dak
team.
says it too.
That's what I'm saying. To the team.
Oh, so okay.
We're gonna hear about the Cowboys Super Bowl
Well,
in
Jerry
August.
brings it up. That's the
In
problem.
August, we're like,
You gotta
we're
say that
Super
to
Bowl
Jerry.
down after game 1. It's like that's one game down. We have 19 more to go.
So what do y'all think? Y'all think Nick right? And most definitely, I think Chris Brussard was right on point with what he had to say. So, y'all reply down in them comments. You know what I'm saying? And we're on to the next one. Yo, this is JB the Cowboy fan. I appreciate y'all listening to me. Like and subscribe to the channel. Let's go, Cowboys.